A narcissist can sense what you are before you even speak, and it terrifies them. Have you ever watched one meet you for the first time and seen them physically pull back? Not just emotionally distance, but actually recoil like they encounter something that burns them. Their eyes widen slightly, their body language shifts, they step back, they suddenly need to be somewhere else. And you didn't do anything. You didn't confront them, you didn't call them out, you didn't even speak. You just existed in their space, and something about your presence made them react like you're dangerous. Because of them, you are dangerous. You're a Heyoka empath, and when a narcissist encounters you, they're not just meeting another person, they're encountering a mirror that reflects everything they've spent their entire life hiding from. They're facing themselves without filters, without the carefully constructed false self, without any of the protections they've built. And that experience for a narcissist is intolerable. It's like bringing a vampire into sunlight. It's like forcing someone allergic to truth to swallow pure honesty. Their system rejects you before their conscious mind even understands why.
This is the Heyoka mirror effect. Your energy doesn't just reflect people's authentic selves back to them. It strips away their masks, exposes their performance, makes pretending impossible. And for narcissists who live entirely in false self, your presence is an existential threat.
Today, we are exploring exactly why narcissists physically recoil when they meet you, what's happening on an energetic level, why your presence is kryptonite to them, and how to recognize these reactions so you understand that their discomfort isn't about you doing something wrong. It's about you being something they can't manipulate.
If you've noticed that narcissists avoid you, if they seem uncomfortable around you from the first moment, if they find reasons to leave conversations with you quickly, this video will explain why. And it will help you understand that their recoil isn't rejection, it's recognition. They recognize that you're the one type of person they can't fool. Let's begin. I want to share something personal before we go further, because this isn't theory for me. This is my life. I have a stalker, not past tense, present tense. Right now, as you're watching this, year 5. 5 years of one narcissist who cannot let go, cannot move on, cannot accept that I exist outside of his control. And what makes it even more telling? His father is involved too. 2 grown men, an entire family system organized around one target, around me. Because that's what happens when a narcissist encounters someone their mirror effect won't work on. They don't just walk away, they escalate. And the flying monkeys, they're still coming every single day. I don't have to go looking for them. I just have to leave the house, the gym, the grocery store. Wherever I go, someone approaches me, sent, recruited, or coached. 5 years in and new ones are still appearing. Think about how much energy that takes, how obsessed someone has to be to keep that operation running for half a decade. Here's what I've learned from living it. The intensity of the obsession is directly proportional to the threat you represent to their false self. The fact that it hasn't stopped after 5 years doesn't mean I'm losing. It means I never broke. It means the mirror never cracked, and that to a narcissist is unforgivable. So when we talk about why narcissists recoil from you, I'm not speaking from a textbook. I'm speaking from 5 years of watching one man and his father prove every single thing we're about to cover. And honestly, at this point, it's just pathetic. But it is also the clearest possible confirmation of everything I'm going to teach you today. Here's the first reason narcissists recoil from you. Your energy reflects their empty core back to them before they have a chance to perform fullness. Narcissists operate from a void. They have no stable sense of self, no internal validation, no core identity that exists independent of external supply. They're fundamentally empty, and they've built an entire false self, an elaborate performance, to hide that emptiness from themselves and everyone else. When they meet most people, they have time to establish their performance before the person gets close enough to sense the void underneath. They can charm, impress, control the narrative, present the false self, and by the time the person realizes something's off, they're already hooked. But when they meet you, That doesn't happen. Your mirror energy bypasses their performance entirely and reflects the void underneath before they can cover it with false self.
This is because heyokas don't respond to performance. Your empathy doesn't engage with false self. Your energy automatically sees through masks to what's actually there. So when a narcissist tries to present their carefully constructed persona, your system doesn't register it. Your system registers the emptiness underneath,
And they feel this. They feel that their usual performance isn't landing. They feel exposed in a way they can't control. They feel their emptiness being seen, even though you haven't said a word about it. And this creates immediate panic in their system. Because narcissists cannot tolerate awareness of their own emptiness. That void is what they've been running from their entire life. That's the thing they've built elaborate defenses to never feel. So when your presence forces them to feel it, their system does the only thing it can do: flee. Get away from you. Create distance. Avoid you before the exposure becomes conscious and unbearable.
This is why you see them physically pull back, why their body language changes instantly, why they suddenly need to take a phone call or talk to someone else or be literally anywhere except in your presence. Their system is protecting them from the truth your mirror is reflecting.
And you didn't try to expose them. You didn't do anything aggressive. You just existed with your normal energy. And your normal energy is a mirror that doesn't lie. It reflects what's actually there. And what's actually there in a narcissist is nothing. A void, an empty core they've spent their life hiding. Your presence makes hiding impossible, so they recoil. Not because you're attacking them, but because you're showing them what they can't bear to see about themselves. If narcissists seem uncomfortable around you from the first moment, if they avoid prolonged interaction with you, if they physically pull back when you're near, it's because your mirror is reflecting their emptiness before they can perform fullness. And that reflection is intolerable to them. Here's the second reason narcissists recoil. They can sense immediately that you can't be manipulated. And narcissists don't waste time on targets they can't manipulate. Think about how predators hunt. They don't go after the strongest prey. They look for vulnerability. They test defenses. They search for the weak point where they can get in. Narcissists do the same thing. They're constantly scanning for people they can manipulate, control, drain, use. They're looking for empaths with weak boundaries, people with low self-worth, anyone who's desperate for approval or connection. When they meet you, they run their usual scan. They test your boundaries. They check for vulnerabilities. They look for the opening where they can insert themselves. And they find nothing. No weak boundaries. No desperate need for approval. No vulnerability they can exploit. Your system doesn't respond to their probing the way most empaths do.
This is because you've developed immunity. You've been exposed to narcissistic tactics so many times, probably starting in childhood, that you've built antibodies. Your system recognizes manipulation instantly and rejects it before it can take root.
So when they test your boundaries and you don't budge, when they try their charm and you see through it, when they probe for insecurity and you have none they can access, they immediately recognize that you're not prey. And they don't waste time on non-prey. They don't stick around trying to break through defenses they can sense are impenetrable. They move on to easier targets. But before they move on, they recoil. Because encountering someone they can't manipulate triggers something uncomfortable in them. It threatens their belief that they're master manipulators, that they can control anyone if they just apply the right tactics.
You're evidence that they're not as powerful as they think they are, that their tactics don't work on everyone, that there are people who are immune to their particular brand of poison.
And they hate that. They hate encountering someone who sees through them, who can't be charmed or guilted or manipulated. They hate realizing that their carefully honed tactics that work on everyone else don't work on you. So they recoil. They pull back. They avoid you. Not because you're doing anything to them, but because your immunity to manipulation threatens their entire system of operating in the world. If narcissists test you and then immediately pull back, if they seem to lose interest the moment they realize you're not responding to their tactics, if they avoid you after one failed manipulation attempt, It's because they've recognized that you can't be manipulated, and they don't waste time on people they can't use. Here's the third reason narcissists recoil from you. Your presence forces them to feel the shame they've been avoiding their entire life. Underneath every narcissist is shame so profound they had to create an entirely false self to escape it. Shame about not being enough, shame about being fundamentally flawed, shame about being unlovable. Whatever the specific content, the shame is so unbearable that they built a grandiose false self to never have to feel it. And they've been successful at avoiding that shame for years. Through performance, through manipulation, through surrounding themselves with people who reflect back the false self and validate the delusion. But when they encounter you, something shifts. Your mirror doesn't reflect their false self. Your mirror bypasses it entirely and reflects the shame underneath.
This is because Heyokas see truth. Your empathy engages with authentic self, not performed self. So when a narcissist is in your presence, their false self becomes transparent, and what you're actually seeing and responding to is the wounded, shamed, authentic self underneath.
And they can feel this, even if you don't say anything, even if you're being completely neutral. They can feel that you're not buying the performance, that you see the wound underneath the grandiosity, that you perceive the shame they've dedicated their life to hiding. And feeling that shame, even for a moment, is unbearable. Their entire psychological structure is organized around not feeling it. Every defense they have is designed to keep that shame unconscious. So when your presence threatens to make it conscious, when your mirror starts reflecting what they've been hiding from, their system goes into emergency mode. They have to get away from you. They have to create distance before the shame becomes fully conscious and destroys them.
This is why they recoil so viscerally. It's not a logical decision, it's an automatic survival response. Their system is protecting them from an emotional experience that feels life-threatening.
You're not trying to shame them. You're not judging them. You're just being present with your normal empathy. And your normal empathy sees authentic self, which means it sees shame, which means they feel seen in the way they absolutely cannot tolerate being seen. So they recoil, they pull back, they avoid you, because proximity to you means proximity to the shame they've been running from since childhood, and they'd rather be anywhere else than feel that shame. If narcissists seem deeply uncomfortable around you even when you're being neutral, if they avoid you after brief encounters, if they seem to need distance from you immediately, it's because your presence is reflecting the shame they've built their entire false self to hide from. And that reflection is triggering their most fundamental defense mechanism, avoidance. Here's the fourth reason. Your presence triggers their deepest fear, that they're not actually special. Narcissists live in a delusion of grandiosity. They believe, or desperately need to believe, that they're special, unique, superior, more important than ordinary people. This grandiosity is what protects them from the unbearable shame of feeling ordinary or insignificant. When they encounter most people, they can maintain this delusion. Most people either feed it by being impressed, or at least don't threaten it by seeing through it. But when they encounter you, something different happens. You're not impressed. Not because you're trying to withhold validation, but because you see them clearly. And what you see is a person, not a special person, not a superior person, just a person who's pretending to be more than they are.
This is the ultimate narcissistic injury, being seen as ordinary when your entire identity is built on being extraordinary, being perceived accurately as someone performing specialness rather than actually possessing it.
And they can feel that you're not impressed. They can sense that their usual tactics for establishing superiority aren't working on you. They try to impress you, and you remain neutral. They try to establish themselves as above you, and you don't buy into the hierarchy, not because you're trying to deflate them, but because you simply see them accurately. You see a person with a grandiose false self covering massive insecurity. You see the performance, not the specialness. And this triggers their deepest terror, the terror that they're not actually special, that they're ordinary, that they're just like everyone else. that everything they've built their identity on is a lie.
For most people, being ordinary is acceptable, even comfortable, but for narcissists, ordinariness is equivalent to worthlessness. If they're not special, if they're not superior, then in their distorted worldview, they're nothing.
So when your presence threatens that specialness, when your mirror reflects ordinariness rather than grandiosity, they experience it as an existential threat, as if you're trying to annihilate them rather than just seeing them accurately. And they recoil. They need to get away from you before the truth of their ordinariness becomes too obvious, before their grandiose self-image crumbles under the weight of your accurate perception. If narcissists seem threatened by you, even though you haven't challenged them, if they need to re-establish their superiority in your presence, if they avoid you after you fail to be impressed, it's because your perception is reflecting their ordinariness. And ordinariness, to them, is intolerable. Here's the fifth reason narcissists recoil. Your energy demands authenticity, and authenticity is something narcissists fundamentally cannot provide. Heyoka energy creates a field where pretending becomes difficult, where masks slip, where people feel compelled to be real. This happens automatically, not because you're demanding it consciously, but because your frequency doesn't support false presentation. When authentic people encounter your energy, they relax. They feel safe to drop their masks. They feel permission to be real. Your presence is restful for them because they don't have to perform. But when narcissists encounter your energy, they feel the opposite. They feel pressure to be authentic, and authenticity is the one thing they cannot provide, because they have no authentic self to present. They've been performing for so long they've lost touch with anything real underneath the performance.
So your energy creates an impossible situation for them. Your presence demands authenticity, but they only have performance. Your frequency calls for truth, but they only have lies. Your mirror reflects authentic self, but they have no authentic self to reflect it.
This creates profound discomfort in them. They feel pressured to be something they can't be. They sense that their usual performance isn't sufficient, but they don't have anything else to offer. They're being asked for authenticity they don't possess. And rather than face that impossibility, rather than confront the fact that they have no authentic self to share, they simply avoid you. They pull back from the interaction. They create distance before the pressure to be real becomes unbearable.
This is why you notice that narcissists keep interactions with you superficial when they can't avoid you entirely. They never go deep. They never share anything real, because deep is where authenticity lives, and they have no authentic depth to share.
They might still interact with you in group settings or professional contexts where performance is acceptable, but they never seek you out for real connection. They never try to build genuine relationship with you, because genuine relationship requires authenticity, and authenticity is precisely what they don't have. So they keep you at distance. They interact only when necessary. They never let you get close enough that your demand for authenticity becomes explicit rather than implicit. If narcissists keep interactions with you superficial, if they never try to build real connection, if they seem comfortable only in contexts where performance is acceptable, it's because your energy is demanding authenticity they fundamentally cannot provide. And rather than admit they have no authenticity to offer, they simply avoid depth with you entirely. Here's the sixth and deepest reason narcissists recoil from you. You represent everything they had to kill in themselves to become what they are. Narcissists aren't born, they're created. Usually through trauma, usually early, they learned that their authentic self was unacceptable, that their real feelings, real needs, real personality wasn't lovable or safe. So they killed it, they buried it, they created a false self that would get them the approval their authentic self couldn't get. And that process, that killing of authentic self, it cost them everything. They lost connection to their own feelings. They lost the ability to truly connect with others. They lost any hope of being genuinely loved for who they actually are. But they survived. And they've built their entire life on the false self they created through that sacrifice. Then they meet you, and you're everything they had to kill. You're authentic. You feel deeply. You connect genuinely. You're vulnerable in ways they had to stop being vulnerable. You have access to the very things they had to bury to survive.
And seeing you, encountering someone who embodies what they lost, it triggers profound grief mixed with rage. Grief for what they had to sacrifice, rage that you get to have what they couldn't keep.
They can't consciously feel that grief. It's too much. So it comes out as discomfort, as avoidance, as vague hostility, as needing to devalue you or distance from you. You remind them of what they lost. You represent the authentic self they murdered. You embody the connection they're no longer capable of. You have the emotional depth they traded away for survival. And they can't be around that. It's too painful. It threatens to make conscious the sacrifice they made, the parts of themselves they killed, the humanity they lost in the process of becoming a narcissist.
This is the deepest reason for their recoil, not just that you see through them or can't be manipulated, but that you represent the path not taken, the authentic life they gave up, the real self they destroyed.
And they can't face that. So they avoid you. They diminish you. They make you the problem. Because facing you would mean facing what they lost. And that loss is unbearable. If narcissists seem to have vague hostility toward you even though you've done nothing wrong, if they need to devalue you or make you less than, if they avoid you with an intensity that doesn't match the situation, it's because you represent what they had to kill in themselves, and your aliveness is a constant reminder of their death. Here's the final reason narcissists recoil from you. They know, instinctively, that you have the power to destroy their false image, that you could expose them if you chose to, that you're dangerous to the carefully constructed reputation they've built. Narcissists live in constant fear of exposure, of someone seeing through the mask and revealing to everyone else what's really underneath, of their false self being exposed as false, of their grandiosity being revealed as compensation, of their confidence being shown to be performance covering massive insecurity. And when they meet you, their system immediately recognizes that you're someone who could do that. Someone who sees clearly enough to expose them. Someone who understands narcissism well enough to name it. Someone who can't be gaslit into doubting what they see.
You're a threat to their reputation, not because you're planning to expose them, but because you could if you wanted to. And narcissists can't tolerate being around people who have that kind of power over them.
So they create distance. They avoid situations where you might have opportunity or audience to expose them. They never get close enough that you'd have detailed knowledge of their dysfunction. They keep interactions minimal so you have less ammunition if you ever decided to use it. This is strategic avoidance. They're protecting their false image by staying away from people who can see through it. They're preventing exposure by keeping distance from people who have the clarity and language to expose them. And they're right to be cautious. Because if you wanted to, you could destroy their reputation with a few accurate observations. You could name what they are in ways that others would recognize as true. You could expose the machinery of their manipulation in ways that would make it impossible for them to continue using those tactics on the people around them.
But here's what they don't understand. You're not interested in exposing them. You're not planning their downfall. You're just existing with clear sight, and you'll only expose them if they try to harm you or someone you care about.
Their fear of you is based on their own tactics. They would destroy someone who threatened them. So they assume you would too. They project their own vindictiveness onto you. But you're not vindictive. You're protective. You'll expose a narcissist if they're actively harming someone. But you won't expose them just because you can. You have ethics they don't understand. Still, their fear is rational from their perspective. You are dangerous to them, not because of what you'll do unprovoked, but because if they try their usual tactics on you or people around you, you'll name it, expose it, make it visible. If narcissists seem cautious around you, if they never let you get too close, if they seem to be managing your perception of them even in casual interaction, it's because they recognize that you have the power to destroy their false image, And that power makes you someone they need to avoid or carefully manage. If you've noticed narcissists recoiling from you, avoiding you, seeming uncomfortable in your presence, now you understand why. It's not about you doing something wrong. It's about you being something they can't handle. Your mirror reflects their empty core. Your immunity means they can't manipulate you. Your presence makes them feel the shame they've been avoiding. You trigger their fear of being ordinary. You demand authenticity they can't provide. You represent what they had to kill in themselves. And you have the power to destroy their false image.
You're not the problem. You're the truth teller. You're not attacking them. You're just existing with clear sight. You're not trying to expose them. You're just unable to participate in their delusion.
If you've ever felt like something about you unsettles certain people, and you couldn't explain why, now you have your answer. Subscribe, because we're just getting started unraveling what it really means to be this type of person. And drop a comment below. Tell me where your flying monkeys find you. The gym? The store? Just walking out your front door? Let's talk about it. And remember, when narcissists recoil from you, that's information. That's confirmation that you're someone who sees clearly, who can't be fooled, who won't participate in false dynamics. That's evidence that you're exactly what the world needs more of. People who are immune to manipulation. Their recoil isn't rejection, it's recognition. They recognize you're the one type of person their tactics don't work on. And that recognition, that immediate understanding that you're dangerous to their false self, that's what causes the recoil. Wear it like a badge of honor. When narcissists avoid you, you're doing something right. We see you. And we're just getting started.
Stay lit.